Hey, what's going on, guys? A lot of what I'm going to talk about here is very, very serious shit, right? First, why I'm doing this video, so there was a man, a Guyanese man, which is a country in South America, right next to like Venezuela, right? Stole 28 million. From what I saw, it didn't specify if this was dollars or what currency it was, but it was 28 million. We'll leave the currency aside. From the drug cartels. Now that was mistake number one. I want to make sure everybody understands that. You don't steal $20 from the drug cartel, all right, and live to tell about it. 28 million. Okay, that's not gonna fly. Unfortunately, he decided his mistake number two was to flash the money all over social media where the whole world can see it. And I don't know if you guys know this or not. I don't care if what your privacy settings are on your social media, if it's only your friends that can see it. This world is a lot smaller. And people will find shit out. There's things called screenshots, the whole nine. You know, there's things that could be done and you could be discovered. So I don't know if he shared this with the world or just with his friends, but nonetheless, he shared it on social media. Now he's being tortured as we speak. And the drug cartels are demanding that the family pay back or they will kill him. Now, in a strange way, you know, this is very unfortunate. I mean, there's no doubt about it. Right? I don't think anybody should be tortured and killed under any circumstance, really. But so I feel bad for the guy. I really do. You know, I don't want to see that type of shit. I don't. You know, but he, at the same time, what are you thinking? And let me just make this clear. I don't think people understand how brutal the drug cartels can get. I don't think people understand. I just don't. Right? You know, it's not. Yeah, you hear about the mafia, and yeah, those are some brutal dudes too. But no, the drug cartels are at a whole another level. And it's not just their brutality, it's their power. I don't think people understand how powerful drug cartels are in South America. They are extremely powerful. And they have connections all over the world. I don't care if you steal money from them and go all the way to France. Right? You will die. I mean, there's no other way around it. And they'll find a way to get you because everybody's got a family. And yes, they will go there. So not saying that anybody will ever be in that predicament, but it's not worth it, man. It just isn't. It's not worth it whatsoever. I won't say, like, I've obviously never had involvement with them, but I won't say whether I know people that are involved with them or not. Okay, but let's just say that there's some they're very brutal people. Very brutal. Right? There are no borders. There are no boundaries. They will find you. That's the way it is. No matter where you are, you're not safe. You're not. And that's just the reality. And this poor guy, man, he's getting, I mean, it's all over social media right now. Won't even describe what they're doing to him. I'm sure you could look it up, but it's pretty bad. Right? I don't know the details of the story because I don't really much into it personally. But this is not something uncommon. I anecdotally, I know some stories of people that have tried to steal from drug cartels. Not good, right? It's just not good. It never ends well. I mean, the wars that drug cartels have against one another, just because there's some disputes on money, is those are some serious wars that they have one another. And the power they got is honestly immense. It's they are deep. I mean, they're more powerful than a lot of police departments, right? In South America, it's not even funny. And you'll be surprised where they get a lot of the weapons from too. You'll be very surprised, or maybe not very surprised, but you'll be kind of surprised where their weapons come from. Why they have superior weaponry to police departments and so. Very surprised because there's somebody or something that has a vested interest in keeping business running as usual, right? That's right. This drug war, it goes a long way. It really does. These drug cartels are not going to lose power. It's not going to happen until drugs are legalized in this country. That's the way it is. Right? These games they're playing about, we're going after Chapo, and by golly, Chapo just happened to disappear. He escaped jail. We're after him again. We caught him. We're on to him. They've been catching drug lords, right, for the longest time. It hasn't stopped the flow of drugs. It hasn't stopped business, and drug cartels have only become more powerful in the process. That's it. I mean, they got undercover cops on these cases for what? For what? What's the point? For what? I know this for a fact, right? That the United States, and the reasons that they give the custom agents are hilarious, but that truck, all right, with the license plates, whatever number, let it pass. But why? Just let it pass. Well, we're in an investigation. We're investigating something. You just let it pass, okay? Let it run through. Thank you. Let it run through. They do that shit a lot. Right? You don't think the United States government knows about all the tunnels? Of course they know, right? Of course they know about it. Well, what do you mean? We don't know anything about it. They know everything about it. They know everything, right? They know the whole nine. You're telling me that in my city, teenage kids in high school know about people that sell drugs all over the city, but the police department just can't quite, they've been doing vast investigations, and they can't find these people. Oh man, it's just insane. Of course, I mean, they'll do a bust here and there. They'll do a bust here and there, right? And there's one guy over here, man, he's not playing by the rules. All right, well, we'll take care of it. It's just the way it is, And this one drug lord is being a fucking menace. All right, well, we need a PR story anyway, so we got to catch a drug lord, so we'll take care of it, right? Let's send the biggest, baddest gangsters out there, the United States, to go out there to teach them what it's like. Let's put them in line. Let's just put them in line. That's all, right? And that's just the way it is, man. I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because it's what else can you fucking do? I mean, people refuse to see this shit. But I will say this: we can't really change the system. What we could do is little by little change the narrative, get the word out. But I will say this, and this is especially. I mean, the drug cartel are doing business here in the U.S. Right? They just are. The drug cartels know, all right, that everybody in this fucking country, every ethnicity, whatever, does drugs. That's a fact. Okay. They don't give a fuck who gets caught, who what. It's part of the business. right? And all I have to say to anybody, right? And I know it's easy for me to talk, especially if you're north of the border. It's easy to say, I know it is, but south of the border, it's a little tougher, right? But it's so, man, sometimes it's so obvious. You see a kid, he's got a high, I remember when I graduated high school, I was fucking, I was going to college, and then I had a part-time job fucking as a fucking cook and shit, right? Just to pay my car to drive to college, right? But, and then there was this other kid that graduated with me, right? Same class, same high school class. And he's driving around in a fucking Cadillac, and it wasn't from his parents. His parents didn't have shit. And he's driving around in a Cadillac, and he had a Mercedes a couple months later. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? He already had a nice house, and he bought it all cash. It's like, he didn't say what he was doing, but it was kind of obvious, right? Now, needless to say, I have no idea where this individual is today. I have no idea. I don't know. I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just saying I don't know where he is, and none of our friends in high school know where he is. That's all I could say. I don't know. It's not. The gangster life may sound intriguing, right? But it's just, I don't think it's worth it, especially not if you're directly involved with I'm just saying. South of the border, I mean, it's easy to say, but if you're a 10-year-old kid, you're not going to school, you're not doing anything, right? You're living in the colonias over there in Juarez where they don't even have fucking plumbing. And somebody's offering you, a $20 bill every day just to watch if the chota's coming. Just watch if the cops are coming. That's all you got to do. If you see a cop coming, all you got to do is come tell them. That's it. Here's $20. Well, who do you think that kid's going to listen to? The Mexican government that doesn't do shit for them? Right? Or the drug cartels that are slipping in the 20 every day for him so he could feed his family? Who do you think he's going to listen to? And he's not even doing anything. All he's doing is letting them know that there's a cop coming. That's it. That's all he's got to do. He doesn't know if it's a crooked cop. He doesn't know. Most of them are crooked, but they don't pay him shit. It's easy to fucking. And there's a rule in Juarez, right? And it's first you try and buy them off, because no matter how evil you are, you don't want to resort to violence. And most people are easy to buy. And after that, all right, if they're an idealist, well, just threaten their life. That usually does the trick. Nah, but hey, he doesn't fear anything. He's an ideal person. You can't buy him out. He's an ideal person. He ain't scared of losing his life for the good. All right? Threaten their family. And it's always pay them off, threaten them, threaten their family. And that's why you have the corruption you have all over South America. Right? And that's the reality. And that's why there's a song. There's a band in Mexico, and I know a lot of Hispanics will know about this, but they're called Los Tigres del Norte, right? They're a very popular band. Now, I'm not saying they have connections or not. I don't know. I just listen to some of their songs, right? And there's one called, the song, what's the song called again? Soy el jefe de jefe señor. I don't know if that's the name of the song, but that's the chorus, right? And one of the lines, it's basically saying, you're never going to see my name on the newspaper, right? Nunca van a mirar mi nombre en papeles. You're never going to see my name on the newspaper, right? Because these guys, they don't, like Chapo was made big, and he's, unless you're that top dog, right? But what it is basically saying is a lot of what's going on, man, it's the media, in other words, is not going to report, widely about, corruption going on in the system and who's in charge of the drug cartels, and what are their connections. They're not going to do that. Right? It's not the way it works. Right? Most of them are bought out. Most of them have been threatened directly, and if that didn't work, they threatened their families. Right? And that's the way it is. It's an ugly, ugly world south of the border when it comes to the drug cartels. It is. And you wonder, like, how do you fix this? The way you strip power from the drug cartels, there's only one way. The moment you make drugs legal in the United States, they have no business. Their business is shut down. Boom, immediately. Almost immediately, it's shut down. Now, there's going to be some after effects of that because they still have a lot of money and a lot of pool, right? But you're going to stop the systemic system that's been put in place for decades, right? And so I understand it's going to be an after effect to that. There is. But that's how you stop it. You make drugs legal. But you can't do that. Drugs are bad. I don't know why people think saying make drugs legal means I'm all for drugs. I'm not advocating for people to take drugs. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it shouldn't be illegal. It shouldn't be a crime, to do drugs, especially if you do it in your own home. Right? Everything else that is out there isn't good for us. The fucking food you eat isn't good for you. Well, you think all these, all of a sudden cancer spreading the way it's been spreading is just a big accident or what? You think it's normal to make oranges that big? You think it's normal to make watermelons 10 times bigger than they've ever been in a matter of one generation? You think GMOs are just some normal thing? A lot of things are bad for you. A lot of these pharmaceutical medicines people take are worse than a lot of these drugs. So nobody's saying that there's no downside to legalizing drugs. But what we're saying is you at the very least leave it up to the individual to make responsible choices, and you don't create these monsters like the drug cartels and the power that they have, and even drug dealers here in this country, right? You stop locking up non-violent offenders, right? Which is a term I don't like, by the way, because it still has the word offender in it. Like what? And prisons should be for murderers, rapists, right? That's for violent people. Someone who did an armed robbery, something like that. That's what prison is for. It's not for somebody that was doing drugs or selling drugs to somebody who's willingly buying a drug. You would obviously still have laws. You would make it illegal for kids under 21 or 18. You would make it illegal to drive under the influence, because that is dangerous. You are putting people's life in danger when you're all fucking high as shit and driving, just like you do with alcohol today. This war on drug thing was an experiment, and that's putting it lightly. It is. And it's not working. If you believe that because it's like this. There's those that know that the war on drugs was not intended to do what it's implied to do, meaning, stop everybody from doing drugs. We're going to declare war on drugs. We're going to make sure nobody uses drugs, right? That's what is implied, but that's not the reality. But even if you believe what's implied, obviously it's not working. Drug cartels are becoming more powerful and have a huge influence in a lot of these countries, right? South of the border. They're extremely powerful. There was a point in Juarez where a police chief was getting shot down almost weekly. They thought maybe we make a woman the police chief. They won't do it. Guess what? They did it, right? It doesn't quite work that way. It's what we're doing now just isn't working. It's not working at all, right? So And this is if you believe. Right? This is literally if you believe that it was intended to make everybody stop using drugs. That's if you believe that. This war on drugs got to go. Right? It needs to be exposed for what it is. Just like prohibition didn't work. You remember what happened when you made alcohol legal? Gangsters became powerful, right? The Italian mob, the whole nine, they became rich, they became powerful. And then that's, you're just, all you do is you open a Pandora's box with this type of shit when you make something that a lot of people want illegal. And I think anybody who is addicted to drugs or using drugs too much to the point where they can't even have a functional life, if they're killing themselves doing it, these are health issues. These are mental health issues. I think they need to get treatment. They don't need to be locked up. Right? That's what I think. But that's you're being too lenient. Well, what do you want? You want to keep locking them all up? And then what? This is stupid. It's just getting out of hand. Okay, a lot of these painkillers fucking doctors give away sometimes because they got contracts with a lot of these pharmaceuticals. Okay, a lot of those things are worse for you in some cases, right? But anyway, that's all, man. Hopefully, I will say this: I don't know whether the drug cartel is expecting the 28 million or not. I don't know from the guy that stole it, but he's a dead man. I mean, there's no other way. He's dead. He's not going to come out alive. He's not. Because the last thing they want is people thinking, well, if I steal 20 million, the most they'll do, they'll torture me for a while and then they'll beat the shit out of me, but I'll come out alive. Nah, you're going to die. Right? And they want to send out a message to anybody, that they're not playing games, because they're not. These are some brutal people, some of the most brutal people in the world, as brutal as you could imagine. And it is one thing that is, very important to them. Right? It's money. Right? Now, there are people here that actually transport money for the drug lords, right? And there is a specific way they count the money, right? There is a process. Usually you need at least 3 people involved in this process. And there's a certain dollar bill, not the $1 bill, but a bill that is flipped a certain way after every 100 or something like that. I forgot, right? The reason I know is somebody anonymously told me this, by the way, right? And here's the deal. There is a specific way the dollar bills were flipped, right? This information is relayed to the people that are going to receive the money, all right? When they transfer this money, the person in charge of getting that, whatever you want to call it, the suitcase, right, of money from location A to location B, he needs to stand there while they open the case and they count the money. And they're expecting certain bills to be flipped a certain way. Now, there's 2 things that need to happen here. One is the right amount of money there? That's number 1. And number 2, did anybody monkey with it? Was there any tampering with the money? If one thing isn't right, if one bill isn't flipped a certain way, there are no questions. There is no, why were you tampering with it? No, but there's nothing like that. It's just, well, we can't trust you. And when a drug cartel can no longer trust you, they have no need for you. And when they have no need for you, let's just say they don't send you off on a vacation. Okay, they don't lay you off. They don't tell you you're out of a job, right? That's not what happens. Right? You could take the guess as far as what happens from there, right? Definitely not a job I would like, by the way. No way. Okay, it just takes one, and the reason I think like they have like the three there is they want to make sure that like one guy doesn't want to be a fucking asshole and just screw over the dude that's delivering the money, right? Because even when they get rid of that dude, questions will be asked, you know, and there could be consequences. But anyway, all right, I digress. With that said, moral of the story: don't steal money from drug cartels. Okay, what are you doing? You know how many stories I've heard of people trying to steal money from drug cartels, and they use the money to get away. They go to Puerto Rico, or they go to, you know, and they think they're safe over there. Are you crazy? Like if they're not gonna find you or something, they're gonna find you. They're gonna find you fast, and the longer it takes them to find you, the worse it's gonna be for you, right? And it's not fun. And if they can't find you, I really hope you don't have family. It's not worth it. It's not. Right? Anyway, I'm out.